Hello and welcome to Monday morning's assembly, the first day of the summer term 2020. And I know this is a really strange start to the summer term. So we are going to start off, and the theme for this half term is all about relationships. Now, usually when I talk to you in assembly about relationships, I would be saying to you, what makes a good friend? So what are the qualities that make a good friend? Now, you're not here with your hands in the air wanting to give me the answer, so I've had to think up those answers that you would normally say to me. So I think these are the things that you usually remind me are the qualities that we need to be a good friend. So the first one is being kind. Really important quality for positive relationships and being a good friend. The next one is about sharing interests. So if you've got something in common with your friend, you've got the same interests as your friends. I know a lot of you like playing football or like playing on Minecraft or other computer games, and probably maybe not even Minecraft anymore, with your friends. If you share an interest, that often means that you have a good friendship and you've got things to talk about and you can get along really well with each other. Another important thing is playing together. That's another quality that makes for a good friendship and positive relationships. Here's another one, another important one is looking after each other or looking out for each other, because we all have days where we feel better than on other days and we all need people to look out for us from time to time. Here's another one, is helping. Good listening. Now, here's a really important one, and you always remind me of this one. It's important that you can share. So sharing is another important thing. And there's another one that I've been thinking of, and this is the one that I'm always reminding you about. And it's one that's really easy, a really easy way to show that you are a friendly person. Can you remember what it is? I'll give you a clue. Yep, here we go. Smiling. If you're smiling, you're showing that you be a friendly person. So these are the things that make a good friend, and usually we talk about these when we're in school so that you can get on with your friends during lessons and at break times and at lunch times. But I know that at the moment that's really difficult and you're not able to spend time with your friends. But these qualities are not just the qualities for using with your friends, they can be used in all of your relationships. So whether it's your parents or the people that look after you, your granny, your granddad, your aunties, your uncles, and in these times when we're stuck at home in our houses, with your brothers and sisters, because I know that sometimes those relationships are really tricky. So if you remember all of those skills, you can try them out. Now, I'm going to remind you of a story that we've read before. And I think, just looking through these skills that I've got on these bits of paper, I'm going to sort out the two that I think go well with this story. So, I found one of them. Can't find the other one. It seems to have disappeared. Aha, I've got it. So I'm going to put these two to one side, ready, and we'll see if at the end we agree that you think these are the two important messages from this story. So the story is the squirrels who squabbled. So we have one squirrel called Cyril, and he lives in a towering forest. It says, in a towering forest where summer has been, the cool air bit fresh and the mosses grew green, and as autumn edged in and the sky raged red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed, while up in a tree sung a flighty young squirrel who everyone knew as Spontaneous Cyril. Now you need to have a think. What might spontaneous mean? There's Cyril, the spontaneous squirrel. We might get some clues later on to work out what it means. Now, most foresty folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stores so they'd all be well fed through the frosting of winter that glittered ahead. But Cyril, he lived in the now and the here. There you go, that's what spontaneous means. He'd adventured and parted his way through the year, so his cupboard was empty, his hollow was bare. He hadn't a mouthful of food anywhere. There he is. Oh dear. But wait, what was that? Over there, take a look. And you see, a single lone pine cone wedged in a nook. He squealed with delight, and for very good reason, for inside were the very last nuts of the season. But Cyril wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. Yes, planner head Bruce had his sights on the prize. Though he'd gathered a mountain of bounty hard fought, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of fresh juicy pine nuts inside. So, as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce, he was last pine cone bound. They sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. They scratched at the bark in their scampering scramble. But their panic and haste shook the tips of the spruce, and the pine cone, it trembled, and then it came loose. Both squirrels gave chase at a lightning pace. This was the start of a wild, nutty race. "It's mine!" shouted Cyril. "No, mine!" hollered Bruce. "You don't stand a chance. Give up. It's no use." "I'm hungry!" cried Cyril. "This cone is not yours." "Stay back!" shouted Bruce. "That cone is for my stores." It boinged over bushes and flew through the air. It binged on the nose of a slumbering bear. It bounced over boulders. Then it came to a stop. Then teetered and wobbled and quivered and plop. Both squirrels followed. Oh, the water was fast. Would they learn that they needed each other at last? But each was intent on how he could win, so they didn't quite notice a bird sweeping in. Cyril and Bruce watched in dismay as their cone disappeared up, and away. "Come back!" shouted Cyril. "They're our nuts!" exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. And meanwhile they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed was dividing them over the edge. Cyril and Bruce, they'd taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their nutty young hopes simply end in despair? There they go. Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed at a branch with a trembling hand. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed and he dragged him to safety. With panting and puffs, they stared at the sky, quite lost in deep thought, until Bruce looked at Cyril and said, "Pfft." He let out a snort. "How silly we are," he proclaimed, all a giggle. "How greedy I've been," spluttered Bruce with a giggle. "We shall change from today, may the squabbling cease. We should celebrate, seeing we're both in one piece." And they are laughing at each other. They've realised how silly that they've both been. So how's it going to end? From that day and forward, they made a great pair. They would gather together and found they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, they knew in the end the best thing to share is a laugh with your friend. Or your family, not just your friend. So the words, one of them I've completely dropped, was being kind. And the second one, did you remember? Did you guess? It was sharing. So remember, when you are thinking about what's important with relationships and friendships, all of those words, and remember Cyril and Bruce. Have a really good week, and I'll speak to you really, really soon. Bye.